Welcome to the Fantasy Football Picks and Bets show on the Mayo Media Network. I am your host, Scott Simpson. As always, we are presented by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks in the link in the description below using code MMN, and you're going to get a deposit match, $100 deposit guaranteed, basically free money, as LQ and I always say. Oh, I'm tipping my hand. By the way, while you're here, please like and subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. And like I did say, I have got my friend LQ LaQuan, the Real Deal Fantasy here. Welcome, brother. How you doing, sir?
Welcome. We're back for another fun-filled show, and we got some prize picks. And of course, it's free money season.
Oh my goodness, it is free money season. We were talking about it before the show. Only a few prize picks are out, but they're juicy. They're juicy prize picks. We're going to make some cash, fire content only. I'm so excited to jump into this Thursday slate. By the way, football never ends. It's football season. It starts in, July. And then by the time you get into February, you're like, oh, okay, when's football starting again? So it's every single day for us, which we love. We're not going anywhere. So right now, do sign up, use that link in the description below. And that code is MMN, stands for the Mayo Media Network. And let's get into it right now. The Denver Broncos at the Cleveland Browns. We saw these teams just playing just like 2 days ago, right? Fresh in our minds. We've got some injuries on the injury front. Kareem Hunt down and out. Nick Chubb missed the game as well. So our rushing prize picks are going to be a little bit different. Not going to feature really any of those guys, which is interesting. But we do have Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, and then D'Ernest Johnson. So which of these prize picks do you think kind of is your best lead off to start your picks?
It's funny because the most difficult will probably be the Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams one. I definitely feel as though they're splitting. So we're looking at both their floors, but they could definitely both hit this. You know what I mean? But it's a matter of making that ticket, having Williams and Gordon on the same one. You're kind of fighting against each other. So I honestly would probably lean more towards Melvin Gordon hitting his over. And then I can go with D'Ernest Johnson hitting the under for the simple fact that we haven't seen much out of him. And he's going against the Broncos, who are fourth right now in yards per game. So they're not a good matchup for D'Ernest Johnson to come into this week to be full sent into any lineup or any ticket to be putting money on. So I'm smashing the under, but then I'm going to lean towards Melvin Gordon based on that's his floor. So I could see the over on that.
Yeah, I like both those picks, and I was going to lean the under myself on that. So far, him and Demetric Felton, they've had about the same amount of touches, 9 and 11. So it's not, we don't even know what that's going to look like when it gets boiled down to it and how much Baker's going to be passing the football anyway in that matchup. So, but that total not on the board. We do have a total here on the board. Teddy Bridgewater, 230 and a hook for his passing yards. What do you think about that? Teddy, not the most prolific of passers, more efficient than he is, have a huge passing days. Is this attainable, or is it something we're going to fade?
Absolutely attainable. We're looking at his floor right here with the 230 as well, because I'm looking at Teddy Bridgewater going into this matchup. The Browns defense isn't as scary as everybody's trying to make it out to. They're not exactly up there with a big corner or a big, linebacker just stopping the run and stopping the pass as well. They have a good pass rush, of course, with Myles Garrett, but Teddy Bridgewater is also a mobile quarterback. Getting out of the pocket, extending the plays, it's a full send with the 230 and the hook. I'm loving that for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and we'll see if a number comes out for Baker. Right now, there's just nothing up there, but check every day, right? And if you didn't sign up today, sign up tomorrow. Sign up with the MMN every single time. But the numbers will kind of come and go depending on the action, depending on also what the line they set is. So things do change. I've seen numbers pull off the board or jump on the board at different times. So check back if you're a Baker fan, right? Or if you just want to full fade Baker. I know people are in the fade Baker camp. But let's talk about receivers and receiving yards here, right? If Teddy's going to throw for 230, he's going to have to throw somewhere. There's a couple of numbers that are juicy, particularly, from my mind, Noah Fant, 41 and a hook. Well, am I just am I overreacting here? Is it one of those no-brainers? Am I like, oh, this is too good to be true? What's going on?
That's a no-brainer there. That I actually liked when I was looking at the show sheet. That one was like one of my biggest smash. I mean, Noah Fant is going to be eating. He's going to be feasting. 41 and a hook. That just that's criminally too low. That's obviously free money right there.
Yeah, I like that one. Are you tempted by any of the running back totals? We tend to think those are kind of smashes, but unless there's a specific game plan that targets that, it doesn't always hit. So we got like a total of 11.5 for Melvin Gordon, 13.5 for Javonte Williams. Either one leaning or kind of fading both.
Man, it's kind of rough being that I feel as though Williams, it's recency bias. We saw him get that 30-yard run, catch it in backfield, and I feel as though that can happen at any time, but again, with Melvin Gordon still having that same upside and ability, you're dealing with, a split hair fighting against each other. So I kind of want to fade the receiving yards for the running backs for the Denver Broncos.
I like that. Yeah, it's probably easier just to say none of the above than to chase which one is going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the Broncos receivers though, Cortland Sutton 66. That's okay. That's a nice total. I mean, he kind of deserves that. Then on the other side though, Tim Patrick 43 and a hook. Does that number, the inflated number, a little bit bigger? Does that scare you away, or you say no, that's still going to be a send, or the Tim Patrick number go, that's just too easy?
It looks like a good match. I definitely love the 43 and the hook. I feel as though if it was in the 50s, then I would be like, no. But being that it's the low 40s, I think we can get the over on here. He's definitely a guy that's stepping up. He's finding the targets as well, and is actually finding the end zone. So I definitely love the Tim Patrick 43 and a 5.
Yeah, no, I do as well. Most of these I think are kind of overs here for the Broncos receivers, and I don't think that the back's going to be the biggest targets out of the backfield there. Let's jump down to receptions here, which is nice to kind of correlate a little bit, and you can say, well, I'm not going to pick up on this, but I'm going to fade over here. Noah Fant, if you're stacking there, he's got a 4. He's only got 4 receptions. I think that's very attainable.
Yeah.
And then Tim Patrick 3.5, but pretty low numbers there, honestly, if you're looking for just a normal game and how receptions kind of are doled out.
I'm feeling as though if we're getting Teddy Bridgewater for over 230, you got to smash the Tim Patrick. You got to smash the Noah Fant with the 4 and the 3 and a 5 and the hook for Tim Patrick. I definitely think these two are obtainable easily with Tim Patrick. Like I said, he's finding the volume. His volume is like middle ground to where he can easily see 5 targets, 6 targets, and catch about, 4 or 5 of those balls as well. So I definitely like Cortland Sutton as well. He's been balling out the last 2 weeks. He's finding his way for over 100-yard games. So he's going to have more than 5 catches to hit those, that 100-yard game.
I like it. Let's move on to one of the my favorite parts about PrizePicks. You can just go straight to fantasy points, right? If you go, Scott, LQ, that's not really my thing with the numbers and the over-unders. I like fantasy points. Well, you can predict their fantasy points, which is really what we're all in the business of doing as we start, sit, draft, play daily fantasy. That's what we're doing. We're saying this person's going to get these points in this matchup. So what do you think about these points? We've got, all the way for Teddy Bridgewater, 15 and a hook, Baker, 16. What do you think about these points?
The obvious one on the show sheet that is a huge smash is Peoples-Jones, man. Are we really looking at 6 points for him with a questionable Odell Beckham? He didn't practice today. So I feel as though we got to account for him not practicing to where Peoples-Jones immediately steps up. Jarvis Landry is still not ready to come off of IR. We just saw Peoples-Jones just catch a Hail Mary ball last week. So I feel as though the yards, the opportunity, he's getting some momentum. So this is definitely a smash. I definitely see him getting over 6 fantasy points.
Yeah, and if you're in the urgency business, this might not be around forever. Odell Beckham goes out, this number kind of gets pulled, maybe gets changed because they can do that, right? So I would jump on this when you can. This is one of those like, hey, quick sign up and double down real quick. At least get your money in on this one. I think this one is going to hit. You saw what he did last week. Just besides, the Hail Mary, which was pretty great. Just his receptions, his touchdown. He got another touchdown. So he's a big-bodied wide receiver coming into his own. So I really like that pick as well. And then, I'm not a soothsayer, but, we talked about Tim Patrick. If he catches over 3 or 4 balls, he's going to have over 10 points. You're not going to catch 4 balls for, 8 points. How do you even do that? It's a math. I'm a teacher and I can't figure that out. You get like 1 for -4 yards. I don't know. So I like Tim Patrick for 10. What about you?
I like it too. I think this is a Tim Patrick stack, Tim Patrick stack episode, I should say. I feel as though he's looking real juicy with his points, Pauls, and I feel as though Melvin Gordon is attractive at 11 points as well. I definitely feel as though he can find the end zone this week. It's a short turnaround. Browns are dealing with tons of injuries. I definitely feel as though they can lean on the running game. Melvin Gordon might pop off for, a big burst of a game. So I like the 11 points for Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, and being PPR too, which I really love, is that, okay, so maybe you wanted to fade that 47 yards, maybe he doesn't get that. Maybe he gets 30 yards passing, maybe gets a touchdown in that so that you can win in that way. So I like 11 for both him and Javonte Williams. I'll go for the overs on that. And then the Peoples-Jones might be the best bet on the whole board. I want to build your ticket on that off the start. So that was great. LQ, I love this. This is one of our favorite money-making segments for people. This isn't even for us. I can't even do this legally in my state.
Yeah.
Maryland, get your shit together. Come on. You know what I mean?
Jersey sucks.
Yeah.
We already know that.
Yeah, same thing over here in Maryland. It's legal, but we can't actually have the license. They're not actually worked out yet. So what are you going to do? Can't do DraftKings betting, can't do sports betting yet. Anyway, we can still make people money. That's what we do here on the Mayo Media Network. Fire content only every single time. LQ, thank you very much. And make sure you sign up using the PrizePicks link in the description below, MMN. Please, you get a $100 deposit match bonus every single time for first-time users. All right, let's jump into it. We have a few start sits. Really, like you said beforehand, it's bye week season. 6 teams on bye. Start everybody. Start your mom. Start your grandma. All right.
Jersey, heartbeat, start them full
right.
set.
Right. Did they have a $3,000 price tag on DraftKings? That means start them, So, but we have a couple. I have a personal one that some friend of mine, some guy who's good looking, looks a lot like me. Anyway, he shared that he had Matthew Stafford versus the Lions or Aaron Rodgers versus Washington. Juicy matchups, all the same. No stacking in this matchup for him. What do you think about these guys? Who'd you go with?
Ooh, this is a juicy matchup because Washington defense isn't what we thought it was. It isn't what we saw last year. Their corners are not playing lights out. They do have a pass rush, but I think Aaron Rodgers will be able to pick them apart. But then the Rams fan in me, I feel as though Matthew Stafford, this is his revenge game. It's like, I'm going to murder you guys. Like what we saw him do to the Giants, it may be worse because the Lions defense is horrendous and he knows they're bad. He's been with them forever. So it's like, it's a lot of emotion going into this decision, but I feel as though if you want to win, you have to go Matthew Stafford with the revenge game, man.
I was feeling that the whole way too. I love that. I have a blind spot for Aaron Rodgers. I do love that guy, especially when he was telling that old lady that he still owns them. I mean, that was just one of the crazy things. By the way, my favorite picture I saw was like all those people giving him the finger. It's like, which person was giving you the finger? All of them are giving him the finger. All of them, right? And he's just saying, I still own you. I still, effing own you. That was crazy. I love that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Stafford too. Down a level, not level of Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, but actually 2 players who are ranked right. At least Aaron Rodgers is below both these guys in fantasy points so far. Derek Carr versus Philadelphia or Sam Darnold versus the New York Football Giants. You just mentioned them. Hot trash, by the way, last week.
I feel as though the better player here, like overall in real life and fantasy, will be Derek Carr, being that he has Waller. Ruggs is heating up with the downfield. I think Sam Darnold struggling last week was a little bad taste in my mouth to full send him against the Giants, even though we saw the Giants get their head stomped in as well. But I feel as though the better overall player, like you'll end up with more fantasy points with a Derek Carr.
Yeah, I think his weapons are better right now. And I mean, I love DJ Moore, one of the best players in the league. Maryland guy, shout out. I'm a Terp. Holler. But I'll say this, the rest of the team, Robbie he's not around at all. Terrence Marshall went out with a concussion. Christian McCaffrey being out just limits Sam Darnold. You see him doing those rushing touchdowns. That's not going to happen all the time either. That's a hard stat to pinpoint. 5 through 5 games is great. Doesn't mean he's going to get 10 through 10 or 15 through 15.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way. So, I like the Derek Carr. And they seem pretty motivated right now and galvanized as a team, which I was a little surprised that they came out firing over that Denver defense. They have a good defense. They're strong. Their strength is the pass. They lock down. They put you in that 4-2 and they take care of you, and the cover 2. But no, they went over the top. It was great. I loved it. Waller all day. So, all right, next we're going to do some running backs. This is a little kind of waiver wire, sneak in here. So to all you waiver wire friends, we got Demetric Felton versus Dearness Johnson here. They're going to both be probably available. People are going to be going after him. Is Johnson just a smash play, or is Felton like a little sneaky comeback?
Felton is the cheaper option here for waiver wire. I feel as though I asked a question earlier on my Twitter. What are we spending for Johnson? Like, what's the ballpark? What's the percentage? And I've seen people say 40%. I've seen people say 50%. The only thing that I agreed with was the 10 to 15% of your fab. Based on, I don't think this is like a 2-week buy that we can get out of them. I don't think this is like 2 to 3 weeks we can go full sending it. But my issue here is that Felton, I feel as though this isn't the matchup for him either as well. I feel as though, we're dealing with a Denver Broncos that's not allowing a lot of receiving yards to running backs either. They're like second for the fewest. So I feel as though both of these are like kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do.
Well, fool's goldie.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you do what you want. You're hoping for Felton to be used as a wide receiver. We saw him get some reps in the slot. So that might be your best bet to lean that way, being that he's cheaper. Right. I don't believe Dearness Johnson has the great matchup. I don't feel as though he's going to do much for you. Even when we did see him put up 95 yards against the Cowboys last year that were trash when he had his opportunity. He only put up 9.5 fantasy points. So it's like
touchdown or bust. All right. You got to get a touchdown. Yeah, that's how it's going to go. Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, let's jump to wide receiver real quick. Two kind of middling wide receivers here. Michael Pittman versus the 49ers or Jacoby Myers versus the Jets. Not middling, but that wide receiver 3 range. What do you think?
I'm going Pittman. I don't like the matchup for Myers against the Jets. Jets only allowed 2 touchdowns to wide receivers this season, which is a crazy ass stat to me, believe it or not. So their defense isn't that bad, honestly. I feel as though Myers, he's not in the end zone anyway, so there's really no upside there. So it feels though Pittman, he has both. He has the upside. I love the way Carson Wentz was playing last week, even though it was Houston. Yes, I understand, but he was playing like a 2017 Carson Wentz. That gives him confidence going into this week. That's what really matters. He's coming off happy with a dub. Hey, I got Pittman. I got him going. Momentum is going. Michael Pittman.
Yeah, no, let's keep it going. All right, battle of the rookies here. Devontae Smith versus the Raiders or Rondale Moore versus we talked about Houston a minute ago. I'm leaning Moore, but maybe that's just because I'm a little biased because I love him. And I've kind of, drafted him a long time ago in Devy leagues. But what about you? Where are you leaning in this matchup?
We've been seeing a lot more Rondale Moore, and he's been having a healthy target share for that team. He's bouncing between 15% and 19%. And that's like right under, AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins. So Kyler Murray is literally spreading the ball around. And we just saw Houston get their head stomped in by Carson Wentz. Rondale Moore's a playmaker, so I'm leaning more towards that way.
Yeah, I like it. And also, Kyler Murray more accurate right now than Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, the play calling is lacking. I think that's what you're seeing. Whereas Cliff Kingsbury is maybe a little bit further along in his development as a play caller. Nick's not doing that great up there in Philly. Yeah, I loved it. The tweets afterwards were just Madden plays from the 90s and just like this was the one play they did. This is their playbook and stuff. So not great. Speaking of those Philadelphia Eagles, they got rid of Zach Ertz, traded him to the desert over there, Rondale Moore territory. So this week and every week, kind of going forward, what are you thinking about Dallas Goedert or Zach Ertz? Now Goddard's got the tight end ship to himself, you could say. And then on the other side, Zach Ertz is in a much better position to be the lead tight end in a Kyler Murray offense. So kind of which friend are you leaning maybe this week and then kind of as the big perspective goes on?
It's a good matchup for Goddard versus the Raiders. Zach Ertz, he's in a position where he could be good as well. We saw Max Williams get involved as well, but I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert.
I love that too. And also coming into a new offense, you always think, oh yeah, I mean, that guy's great, but you have to learn new offense. You have to get chemistry with the quarterback. He'll get in there. He'll get touchdowns, I'm sure. But I think he has a better opportunity if he was the lead tight end in Philadelphia than he is being the lead tight end. And so Dallas Goedert is the lead tight end in Philadelphia, hence the upgrade. So now I'm with you there. All right, let's touch on some injuries real quick. We'll touch on some new ones and then kind of check in on some old ones. The Browns can't catch a break. Kareem Hunt, calf. Nick Chubb, he was out before, but that was from calf. He wasn't even on the show sheet last week when we talked. He wasn't even hurt then. And so calves are everywhere for them. And then Baker's got the labrum issue as well. What's going on over there in Cleveland?
Oh man, they got a bug going around. I mean, Odell Beckham dealing with injury, Baker, Chubb, Hunt, man, who's telling who's next? I mean, Landry already has been out. He's trying to make a return. It's just not looking good. That offense is like falling apart, but hopefully they can all rest up and get better.
Yeah, they need their bye week today. And speaking of bye week, good timing here. Dak Prescott last seen in a walking boot. His calf is acting up on that last pivot throw. I loved it. It was a great throw across the seam there from the one side. It was beautiful to CeeDee Lamb. I have them both in fantasy on my team, and they helped me win the league that week. It was just incredible. Anyway, I digress. In a walking boot, he's got 2 weeks to recover. That's not great though. You don't want somebody in a walking boot. Long-term prognosis. You think he gets back in those 2 weeks and it's okay, or maybe it lingers into the after the bye week?
I mean, watching Hard Knocks, you can see that Dak Prescott is stubborn. So I feel as though he may be making a mistake rushing this rehab. I feel as though the walking boot was an indication like, okay, maybe he is hurt. We're hearing that, they're just putting him in the walking boot to be, preventative or precautionary or whatever the case may be. But I feel as though he's stubborn. He's going to be on the field and it could end up ugly, but fingers crossed for him.
Yeah, seriously, we want to see Dak in the game every Sunday. So if you have to sit out one to get you 10, please do that. We don't want to miss out in the last 8 or so, right? A couple other injuries in the NFC East. Kadarius Toney ankle out in the middle of the game, something to monitor. And then Antonio Gibson shin, he kind of missed some of the game as well. So some of these stars who the week before, our guy Gibson had 2 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney lit the league on fire. So you really watch for those, see what happens this week with those players. And if you could be the prognosticator here, which one do you think gets back on the field quicker, Toney or Gibson?
Gibson. I think Tony's ankle is a little bit more serious than we actually were led to believe. So, I mean, we saw him go out in the Dallas game, with the ankle injury, same ankle he went out with, versus my Rams. So you saw he was pretty frustrated on the sideline. So I think it's more serious than we're led to believe.
I think you're right there. A couple of injuries to watch out for. T.Y. Hilton came back. Yay. He went out with a quad. Yeah, not so great. Hopefully he can get back and give Carson Wentz a target. And then Terrace Marshall did have a concussion, kind of see what happens there. And Latavius Murray near the end of the game, ankle issue. They didn't really touch on it. We're going to see what happens. So those are some of the injuries that were on the new docket. And then old docket, we've got Russell Wilson to kind of keep our finger on the pulse of. By the way, that guy is just an attention machine. He's out there doing his pre-snap talk to Jesus. I don't know what he's doing, talking to different friends up there, doing all his motions with his finger. I watched a video he made the other day where he just says to himself, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I was like, man, you're just driving to the store. Calm down. You know what I mean? So I hope Russ gets back soon. We miss him, but he's shelved for a little while. We got Saquon still shelved, Kenny Galladay, CEH. And so those are some of the big names that are not available right now. So it's just been too much. And then of course, Christian McCaffrey may be in, not going to be in. So hopefully he can get back in as soon as possible. But the IR stint, was it put him back week 11? Is that when he's got to come back now? So 10. Okay. So he can come back after 10. So yeah, I mean, all our favorite friends, if you drafted CMC, pour some out. Yeah, we love you. So, but thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you every week checking out our prize picks, jumping into the start sit and then the NFL injuries. I am Scott Simpson. You find me at nimblewnumbers.com, Nimble Numbers on Twitter. I write for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm also here on the Mayo Media Network. LQ, where can people find you, sir?
Hey, man, you guys can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, obviously, Real Deal Fantasy. I'm doing some writing over at Downtown Rams. Just dropped my latest article, Buy CMC right now. Buy them while you can. That window is very small. Do not let these shareholders of CMC sit too tight and actually accept the shit sandwich of eating it.
Oh, that's a perfect out. Please do go check him out. Follow him on all social media platforms. And then do go subscribe to the Mayo Media Network here on YouTube. Smash the like button. All right. I'm trying to do my best lofty impersonation here. And then also click the link for PrizePicks. Sign up. Get that free $100 deposit match, MMN. We'll see you next week. Fire content only. Make that money. We'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.